No, you don't need the.
I'm doing this my way.
He a legend, he a legend, he a legend. He a legend, he a legend, he a legend. He a legend. Welcome to the league, to the league, to the league, to the league, to the league of idols. Welcome to the league, to the league, to the league, to the league, to the league of idols.
What's up, everybody? It's Pikel with League of Items, and we have more Mythic items that we need to talk about. I know you're very excited. Please try to contain yourself. Alright. Now we have the AD Assassin items, or Ass-Ass-In, as they like to say. People say that, right? So we have Duskblade of Draktharr, Eclipse, and Prowler'S Claw. And these are all items that people are going to be very, very happy with and very excited about because they're broken in one way or another. So just real quick, I need to switch that. I think that was 10, right? It was 10. Great. What a great memory I have. All right. So all three of these items are 3,200 gold. If we look at base efficiency, Duskblade and Prowler'S Claw both give 3,000 base stats instantly in return. Eclipse only gives 2,330. So basically, what that's telling us is that Eclipse is going to have the most difficult condition to meet. But if we meet it, maybe it becomes the best item. Maybe the ceiling cases justify the purchase. I did something on passives. Did I not do the percentage of armor? Because the reason I ask is because we'll do it when we get there. So first up, Duskblade of Draktharr. 55 attack damage, 18 lethality, 25 ability haste, Dusk. And hold on to your seats, because this is kind of insane. Attacking an enemy champion deals 50 additional physical damage and slows them by 99% for 0.25 seconds with a 15-second cooldown. However, when a champion that you have damaged within the last 3 seconds is killed, reset this cooldown and gain invisibility for 1.5 seconds. And then the Mythic passive is all other legendary items grant 5 ability haste. We've already looked at ability haste in the past. We discussed the value of it, which is debatable. Some people think it's really good, some people don't. But that invisibility, that's going to be crazy on a lot of champions. Just think about a Kha'Zix that already can go invisible multiple times with their ultimate, and then you can also go invisible after Duskblade of Draktharr. So like a Kha'Zix could activate an ultimate, be invisible, run up to somebody, deal damage with Duskblade of Draktharr, with the Dusk passive. That champion gets assassinated, resets Dusk, you gain invisibility again, now you're running around more, and then bang, you kill somebody else. Maybe you need to use a Kha'Zix invisibility to maneuver or to get into a better position, and then bang, you get invisible again. Like it's very possible that the idea is much better than it may be much better in theory than practice. Maybe that additional invisibility really isn't going to be that beneficial, but we're going to have a lot of champions that don't traditionally buy invisibility, get invisibility. Now that's interesting, because what if you're an annoying champion like Kayn, or somebody who's very slippery, and you just want that invisibility to like go in, deal your damage, and then sneak away. That's a new kind of gameplay style that we might see that hasn't existed on a lot of champions. So it may, like, if you're already a champion that can invis, maybe it's not as good as we think it is, but maybe some of the champions that have never been invisible before are absolutely insane when they're invisible. That's kind of where my mind is at right now. So Duskblade 94% base efficiency, which is pretty good in general. So you need to ask yourself, how much gold is Dusk worth? Is Dusk worth at least 200 gold? The answer is clearly yes. And after you get 2 additional items, it breaks even on base stats anyways from the additional ability haste. Next up is Eclipse. So this is the one that we have the big question about. 55 attack damage, 18 lethality. So all of these items are the same in that regard, with the amount of lethality, or I guess not in the amount of lethality, some of the lethality and some of the lethality, and then lethality and attack damage is basically the same on most of these, or they all offer it. Tough words, long day at work. So Eclipse. Moonstrike. Hitting a champion with 2 separate attacks or abilities within 1.5 seconds deals bonus physical damage equal to 16% of their maximum health, and grants you 30% move speed and a 150 shield for 2 seconds. So this item is pretty difficult to quantify. I'm sure that there is an Omnivamp number out there somewhere that I just haven't thought of, like off of Hextech Gunblade. There's probably some stat out there I can find. I just don't have it for this video. Sorry. But let's think about Moonstrike, because Moonstrike needs to be worth 870. Moonstrike plus Omnivamp needs to be equal to roughly 870 gold for this item to break even, and I'm assuming it does. So let's read Moonstrike again. Hitting a champion with 2 separate attacks or abilities within 1.5 seconds deals bonus physical damage equal to 16% of their max health. Dealing that much damage is very good. It's difficult to quantify for gold efficiency, but the next part isn't. So 30% move speed is pretty simple. 30 move speed, so it's percent move speed, so it's 39.5, so equals 30 times 39.5. So in that split second where you get that movement speed burst, the item is worth 1,000, so 3,400-ish, without taking anything else into consideration. And then the shield, again, we can do like equals 150 times 2.6667. That's 400. So when that procs, you're getting almost 1,600 gold's worth of value without taking into consideration the additional damage or the additional armor pen. So armor pen, the way that you figure out the value of the armor pen is by running an equation. Not running an equation. The equation is target's armor that you're avoiding, and then you give it like the negative armor value. So the value of armor is 20. So for every 1 point of armor you surpass, it's worth 20 gold. Make sense? Good. So it's very similar to the like Lord Dom's or Mortal Reminder right now, or Black Cleaver. I guess it's kind of different because it's not bonus armor, it's all armor. So I guess it's better than those other ones that I mentioned, except for Black Cleaver. Last up, we have Prowler's Claw. 65 attack damage, 21 lethality, and 10 ability haste. So we get 10 more attack damage, 3 more lethality, and an active ability. From the shadows. Dash through target enemy, dealing 100 physical damage, and reducing their armor by 30% for 3 seconds. So this is obviously a great item for assassins whose role in a team fight is to kill one enemy, and then their job is done. So this might be annoying for AD carries to deal with, especially if other champions can use this that are not thought of as assassins. So like champions like Jace, for example. Like, he often builds lethality items. This gives you a lot of additional lethality, shreds a lot of armor. Jace is probably not the one that this is going to be the best on, but just that's where my mind went first. And then grants all other legendary items 5 lethality. I thought it was 6. Let's see. Who lied to me? Alright, so the tooltip in the game says 5. Online it says 6. So I'm not taking any blame for that one. This will get switched slightly, but not by that much. So it's a little bit less. It's a little bit worse than the ability haste. But this is another situation where a lot of people think that lethality's value as a stat is higher than the gold efficiency number that gets thrown around, which is reasonable. So what else? Which one of these do I think is going to be the best? I think Duskblade of Draktharr will be the most popular in the beginning because invisibility is cool. I think Prowler's Claw has a good chance of being a very strong item on lethality builders, but I think as time goes on, Eclipse will become more and more popular because it can even kind of be used as a defensive item. And I'm not sure what the cooldown is, but obviously there's going to be a cooldown on this. Like, there has to be a cooldown on this. But you know what I mean? Like, if you use this aggressively to get into a fight, you'll have a shield, you'll have movement speed. Great. If somebody's diving onto you, it basically acts like a phase rush, like a mini phase rush. So I think it's a very interesting item. I think it's probably going to be underrated by most people when this goes live. So if you're in a spot where there are a lot of assassins on the other team, maybe you can even build this. Maybe you can even justify building this as a defensive ability, which is kind of cool. The items that you can use in multiple ways generally are sleeper OP. But that's all I have for you today. Well, maybe not today. Maybe you watch some of the other videos, but this is all I have in this video for you. So I hope you enjoyed learning about the AD assassin items. And I'll talk to you later.